Hello all, welcome back in my YouTube channel. So we will see how we can scale the stack in the Docker swarm. So means suppose you are running application with the help of Docker stack, and you want to scale number of services, or you in a specific service you want to scale number of task or container. So how you can do that? Okay, so we will see in this video lecture. So let's start. Today we will discuss how we will scale the Docker Stack service. So first, Docker Stack scale service. Okay. So when we are taking that we are going to scale up the service, it means we are going to increase the service or we are going to decrease the service. Anything, increase or decrease, we can do. Okay. So you can scale number of services or you can scale number of resources of your service. Means resources means suppose you assign the RAM, memory or CPU with the 10% of your base CPU. So if you want to increase the resources even as well, or resources, or increase the number of tasks even, or increase number of services even, you can do that with the help of the Docker Stack scale command. Okay, not a scale feature. So how we can do that? So we can do that by changing the YAML file. We only need to change the content in the YAML file. After that, we need to redeploy that YAML file, and that will increase or scale number of services, number of resources, or increase or decrease the number of services. Okay. So user can scale service by changing the YAML file, can redeploy the YAML to reflect the changes. So last video we will see how to create the service using the stack. So Docker compose YAML file we created, and with the deploy of this Docker compose.yaml file, we created the service and one overlay network. Okay. So firstly we will change the particular thing like replicas. So in this video we will go for change the number of replicas. Even we will go for change number of resources. We will increase the CPU limit. Okay. So firstly we will change that particular thing like replicas and the resources in the particular YAML file, and for reflect the changes will need to redeploy and redeploy the YAML stack file. Okay. So means once we change all that necessary changes in that compose file, we need to redeploy that file again. So we will see when we will scaling the service, it does not have any downtime. Okay. So when I talking about the downtime, that means your service will not be stopped. It will be scale up the service on the running mode. Okay. So user who is accessing the service don't feel that you have updated the service in your environment. So okay, means you don't having any downtime. So let's verify it. So I'm logging my node. So last video I show you that how we can write a stack dot that compose.yaml file. So I'm using the same YAML file. Let me show the content of that YAML file. So cat docker compose.yaml. So it will create that service. The service name will be the web, and in that service we will use the nginx image, and we will create the two replicas for that service. Resources we assign for 10% of the CPU and 50 MB of the RAM for each container. The policy restart policy mode is the on failure method. If any container or getting failed due to any reason, the stack will create a new container in place of that faulty container. Okay. Port number is the 8080. This 80 port number is the first port. 80 is the port for node port, and second 80 port is defined as a container port. Okay. Network, this service create under the webnet, and network section we will going to create a new network which is name of the webnet. So firstly create the webnet. Under this webnet it will create this service which name is the web. Okay. So I don't have any any service or any stack right away. So let's verify docker stack ls. I don't have any stack. Let's verify the service even as well. Docker service ls. I don't have any service. Let's verify the container as well. Local container ls. I don't have any container. And let's verify the network even as well. Docker network ls. I don't have any network, which is the web. That name will be the webnet. So I don't have any webnet overlay network. okay, in my network list, in this list. Okay, so now I'm going to deploy this YAML file with the help of the docker stack command. So command will be, let me clear out the console, and command will be docker stack deploy -c, then file name is the docker compose.yaml, and the stack name I'm going to deploy as a scale. Okay, scale. So this scale is my stack name. You can give any name here, huh? So it's showing the output. So firstly it create the network. The network name is the scale.webnet, and after that it create the service. The service name is the scale.web. Okay, so because this service created under this network, that's the reason that firstly it created the network and then it created the service. So let's verify that network is created or not with the help of docker network ls. So network is created with the name of the scale_webnet. Let's verify the service docker. Firstly stack, let's verify the stack, docker stack ls. So we have one stack running, that name is a scale, and it have one service. In this stack we are running one service. Let's verify the service as well, docker service ls. It's showing the service and its replica, two replicas is running. Okay, so two replicas running for this service. Okay, if you want to list out the container, then you can check with the docker container ls. So two container is running. Okay, two container is running. Okay, you can even check with the help of the docker stack ps and stack name. Stack name I assign as a scale, so it's showing the even as well. Okay, this is a task for the under the service. Okay, so now I'm going to scale number of replica. Here two replicas is running. I will increase the replica. In place of two, I will desire three replica. Okay, and let's open the compose.yaml file in a nano editor. Docker compose.yaml file. This is the file. Okay, so firstly I'm going to increase the number of replica. In place of two, I'm going to change it 3. So I want to 3 replicas, and the CPU limitation I want to 20%. Okay, so I change the value 0.1 to 0.2. Okay, according you can change this YAML file according the need of your company. Okay, need of your project. Okay, so I'm going to save this file, Control O enter and Control X for exit. So file has been saved. Let's verify with the help of cat command. Okay, so here we increase the CPU limit 0.2 from the 0.1 capacity, and replicas also we increase 2 to 3. Okay, so let me clear out the screen. So right now I have only 2 containers running. Let's verify docker container ls, only 2 containers running. Now I changed the YAML file, but I did not redeploy that YAML file. So I'm going to redeploy that same YAML file with the help of the same command. The command will be the docker scale deploy -c file name, and then same, you need to assign the same name. You have to remember this point, same name. The name will be the scale. The scale name I define as a scale. Okay, previously, so same name I am defined this time even as well. Okay, let's verify what the docker scale docker stack, sorry, here the command will be the docker stack, sorry, command will be the docker stack deploy -c the file name, and that your stack name was the scale. Okay, so I'm using the same the stack name. Okay, let's execute this command. So what is reflecting is showing the updating service name is the scale.web. It's updating the service. Okay, the service name was the scale. Okay, scale_web. So let's verify. Firstly let's verify the network is there or not. Docker network network ls. So network is there. We don't touch this network block under the comport or YAML file, so network don't change even. Okay, let's verify the number of that services. So docker services ls. So here he's showing the 3 replicas. Okay, so let's verify the number of tasks. So command will be the docker stack ps and stack name the scale. Stack name is the scale. Okay, so what he's showing is here there is a 5 container, 1 2 3 4 5 container, but we require the 3 container. Okay, we require the replica as a 3. So why the 5 container running? Let's check the state. 1 this, 1 this, 1 this. These 3 containers are running, so we require the 3 replicas. So 3 containers running and 2 containers are in the shutdown mode. So these 2 containers are the previously to both of the container. Okay, so let's understand what here how the scale how the stack is behaving here. Okay, so now so now you have noted that there is a 5 required tasks out. We require the 3 tasks, so 3 are the running one. This is the latest one, and 2 tasks is the shutdown state. These 2 tasks was previously tasks. Okay, previously replicas. Okay, so when we are updating or scale up the service, then what happened over here? So that docker swarm is going to behind the screen. So what docker swarm is doing behind the screens? So docker swarm will stopping the container one by one, so that your service not getting any downtime. Okay, and it is spin up the new container with the new configuration one by one. Okay, so it firstly stop this service and start this stop this task and start this task. Stop old one task, and in place of this old one task it started the new one task with the new configuration. Okay, then it stopped this second old one task, and in place of this second old one task it started suppose this new task. Okay, okay, so suppose 5 container was running before scale up, then docker down all the 5 container any random in the on those 5 containers it down the any random container and spin up a new container with the new configuration and so on. Okay, and we did not get any downtime, plus my service was accessible for all the time. Okay, so with the help of the docker swarm you can scale your application upgrade or your application downgrade without any downtime. Okay, so now just move further and see how we can add more service in this same stack docker comport.yaml file. Okay, so till now we just executing the nginx service. Okay, or application using the docker compose YAML file. So now I will use the same file and add other application on same YAML file. Okay, for scale up other service in the same file. Okay, so let's open that file with the help of nano command. Okay, so I'm going to delete all these things. So friends, we have already this service web service is running in this comport.yaml file, which we are running 3 that replicas. We assign the CPUs which is 0.2 and memory the 50, and port we define 80 for node port and 80 for that container port, and network under webnet network we define that this service will create. Okay, now under this service we are going to create one more service which name is the visualizer. Okay, like this web service, same like this web. Okay, now I'm going to create one more service, that service name is the visualizer. So in this service I'm going to take image as a visualizer image. Okay, So you can found this image from the docker hub.docker.com. Okay, and for port I'm going to assign that port is the 8080 port. This 8080 port for the node port, and this 8080 port for the container port, and this is the volume we are going to bound. So this is the local value, this folder from the local host, and inside the container, and after the column we define the where it mounted inside the container. Placement, this is the additional new feature. So deploy, under deploy we are using the here placement option. So in the placement we define the node role is equal to manager, means this service only deploy on the manager node. Okay, this service only deploy on the manager node, and then the network section, again this service deploy on the same network, webnet network. Okay, here we define the webnet network. So the same file I added this block, this service block again. Okay, so the same file we added the same we added the second service block. Okay, so let's verify how it behave. So I'm going to save this file with the help of Control O, enter, Control X. Okay, now let's verify how many services are running with the help of Docker service ls. Let's clear out the console first. Okay, let's verify how many services are running with the help of Docker service ls. So only one service is running, which name is the web scale underscore web, and 3 replicas are running. Okay, okay, so now I'm going to scale that existing stack with the same command. Okay, command will be docker stack deploy -c, then the file name and the same stack name. Stack name was the scale. Okay, so here I'm defining the same stack name. Okay, which name was scale. Let's execute this command. Command is the same command. Okay, so what is saying, updating service scale.web is only updating the service, and creating new service. New service name is the scale, the visualizer is creating new service. Okay, so in the same way, in the single file you can create multiple service, or you in later on you can create scale in or scale out number of services, number of network, even number of resources like replicas or CPU allocation, memory allocation. So let's verify that service, that visualizer service is created or not. Command will be the docker service ls. So it's showing that yeah, visualizer service is running and is one replica set is running. Okay, and port number 8080 is running. Okay, if you want to check all the container, command with the container docker container ls. So yeah, 4 container is running, 3 container for the this web service, web 1 2 3, these 3 container for the web service, or this container, first one container for the visualizer service. Okay, so in this way we can use the Docker Swarm scale feature. We only need to write a single YAML file, and that YAML file will be helpful for create the application. In that same YAML file we can define multiple services under the same application. We can define that number of replicas, networks. Even later on we can use the same file and we can scale up or scale down number of replicas for individual services, or we can increase the services or decrease the services as well. Okay, or we can create the other network even as well. So this is very useful in the production environment, I think. Okay, so I hope you understand this video lecture. If you have any comment, suggestion, doubt, please let me know inside the comment section. Thank you for watching.